mean, it's all very well. I mean, once we, agree that yes, you should kill your idea early, and don't fall in love with your idea, and don't do this with people. I mean, you can fall in love with people, and you shouldn't be killing most people that you interact with. But that's not the same with ideas. So it brings us to the question of how do we do that, right? Is there anything that we can share that would help young developers to understand how do you validate? How do you know whether to kill an idea or not kill an idea? What are there techniques? Are there trips? Tricks and tips from professional experience that we can share to help with that?
This is something that I tell a lot of young designers. So user testing is super, super important, and early testing is even more important than doing robust late stage testing, right?
Yeah. Brian Reynolds used to say at Zynga, if you remember, testing is design. It's not even a separate thing. Testing is design.
Absolutely. It's not a separate phase. Sometimes some of my, well, I won't say my ideas, some of the best ideas that I have built sometimes have come from conversations from users because they know what they want. You always take user testing results with a pinch of salt, but pay really good attention to early testing. Get out there, identify one user, start with a single user, find out if your game is fun. Find out if they are having as much fun as you think it will be to play the game. Test early is really important for you to find out whether that idea that you love, do other people also love it? Because you are not the audience for your game, somebody else is. So testing early, I think, is really, really important to get that sense of, oh, am I correctly in love with this or am I wrongly in love with this?
Yeah, and that test early, test often, and it's also how you respond to the tests, right? And like one of the things I was taught at Zynga, and I still continue to insist on and practice as a designer, is that if it's lukewarm, then it's not good.
Yeah.
It needs to be super exciting. Your players have to be like, oh my god, this is awesome. Then you know it's working. If it's like okay, and you have a doubt, don't convince yourself that it's good. It's better to assume that it's not working, because if it's, you need to look for extreme levels of excitement, right? Because we've seen in game development very often in prototypes is when we find the most level of excitement, and as you build that excitement kind of levels off, and unless that excitement is at its peak at the prototype, it will fall. I mean, very few games get more exciting than their early prototypes. Most of them get less exciting, and if it's there, you'll at least end up here. But if it's lukewarm to begin with, by the time you finish building it, it's almost likely to drop to zero. Is something that I've seen from experience.
Yeah, and I think what you said earlier was really important. Test often, right? I actually have been guilty of testing early, finding some whatever, the prototype was exciting, people were very interested, but not testing often enough means that whatever is causing that excitement at the prototype stage, when it's falling off, which like you said, it naturally will, you don't know why it's falling because you're not testing it. So at each stage when you think your prototype has like moved a step forward, always test that again, preferably with the same users, but that's okay. If you can't like access them, then like find a similar profile of users out there. Just go out on the street. I have literally on one game not had the budget to, well, I quote unquote budget to test, like get people in a room, arrange cameras. I've not had the budget for that, and so I have gone out to a metro station, identified users who would match my user persona, and then literally begged them to play my dirty prototype that doesn't even work properly. I've begged them to play it because that is invaluable, because when you play it, all you're looking at is, oh, it's not working because of that bug. But when a player says, oh, it's not working, and you explain to them and they say, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not working because, and they will give you insights that honestly, I don't think you are capable of coming up with yourself because you are too close to the problem. And like I said, you are not your audience. So find any way to test. That's really, really important. Test as often as you possibly can, and then a little bit.
Pretty much all there is, right? Validating your ideas, pretty much all there is. Just test. I mean, I'd say the other thing that I would always want, encourage designers to follow to get into that habit is, when in doubt, kill it. If there's a doubt, you should probably kill the idea. you'll know when an idea is working because there's no doubt. You're entirely 100% excited and you're like, this is going to work and this is going to be awesome. You should only be building those ideas, right? If there's a doubt, it's probably time to kill it. Is a useful heuristic because that's a safer bet. As a business, it's a safer bet to kill an idea rather than, because the ideas that deserve to not be killed, it'll be obvious. It'll be obvious if you just know, and the more experienced you are and the more confident you are as a designer, right? It's a sign of confidence to kill ideas. It's not a sign of low confidence, and people actually sometimes don't understand that. But only a confident designer will be like, no, kill it, because a confident designer knows that they can come up with better ideas anytime, right? You don't think you'll hitch all your hopes onto that one idea, and but maybe I won't get another good idea, as a sign of low confidence as a designer, which comes from practice. But it's important to just till you build that confidence, just use a rule that says, if you have a doubt that an idea is going to work, kill it. Just build that way. Eventually what you build will have a greater chance of success, because it's so exciting that you couldn't kill it.
We were having a discussion about some feature, and I remember saying, should we do that? And then as I was asking the question, I said, oh, I mean, if you are in so much doubt, why are you even spending time talking about it, right? So that actually is a really good yardstick to measure whether you should do a thing or not. This could be like, what should we name this character? Should we name them something, right?
Janaki or Janaki.
It could be as small as that, and it could be as big as, what should that that combat mechanic feel like. So it could be a small decision, it could be a big decision, but that instinct which you will develop as you gain more experience and gain more confidence, but also from user testing, right? When those two things come together, do not hesitate to kill ideas, because that's where the learning is. You know that here's an idea that didn't work, and the best ideas will always bubble up, like you said.
The most important skill, if you must develop one mindset or one attitude early on in your career as a game developer, it is the courage to be able to kill your ideas and not attach too much or identify to an idea, because most of the most expensive mistakes that I have seen made in my career come from that reason alone, in that people fail to see that something's not working and just kind of become like ostriches, bury their head in the sand and keep going after an idea which is bound to fail anyway. Better it fails early when you've spent nothing, rather than when it fails late, when you've exhausted all your money and you don't have bandwidth for doing something else. So learn how to kill your idea fast, learn how to test with users, test a lot, test early, test often, and only ship the ideas that are super exciting.